Welcome back, Astro listeners, to the home of evolutionary astrology. This is Media Monk, and for this full moon podcast, I'm pleased to be joined by our shining star of the zodiac. It's Star Lady. Hi, Star Lady.
Hello, Media Monk.
Hey, a couple of things I wanted to bring up at the outset here at the top of the call, so everybody knows we have made some supplementary changes to our EA course. We have two segments of our EA course. One is the philosophy, the archetypes, etc. All that's in segment one. It's the foundation for moving on to segment two. But what we've done is we've got back into the binder business. So we now are sending out that 3-ring binder with all the tabs, very colorful, lots of information. Jeffrey Wolfgreen's 1994 Pluto School transcript is in there, and lots of other support materials that many of our future students had requested. So we're going to offer that. That's up on the EA course page. Just go check it out. If you want to get the binder shipped to you, we'll certainly do that. That does not include the DVDs, however. We're out of the DVD business. And it does, however, include the archives, 600-700 hours of archives of EA materials. I'm talking about webinar series, one-off segment one classes that we produced over the last 20 years. So you get a tremendous amount of value in that segment one course. Of course, everybody that's in segment one out there, the 1,000, well, we probably have 1,100 students now, my last count. You're certainly welcome to upgrade to segment two, and that, of course, is relationship astrology, synastry, composite, et al., including a health and wellness component. So take a look at all the new changes on the EA course page, and with that, I'll turn it over to Star Lady.
Thank you, Media Monk. Welcome, everyone, to our Full Moon of Gemini podcast. We are looking at a full moon on Sunday, December 15th. We're recording this the day before. And we're looking at this full moon at about 24 degrees, Sun in Sag, Moon in Gemini, and of course they have a T-square with Neptune, freshly direct, December 7th at 27 degrees Pisces. So, mutable T-squares. Mutable is that modality of energy where we try to make sense of everything, put it together, just make peace with everything in our world as well. Cardinal initiates, fixed perseveres, and mutable adapts. But again, it tries to put the picture together and make sense of it all. This full moon of Gemini is closely related to Mercury finishing up a retrograde cycle in Sagittarius with its 3 oppositions to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so Mercury actually turns stationary direct December 15th, a few hours after the full moon, at 6.5 degrees Sag. And it will move in and make the third and final opposition to Jupiter right after Christmas on the 26th. So we've got a lot of this Sagittarius Gemini energy taking place with, again, Mercury left brain, Jupiter right brain, in addition to this full moon of Gemini. So it can feel a little extra busy socially. You can be working to go, make sense out of all the information coming through. You could be juggling, again, this invite, that invite, as we work through the social time period. But it's discerning information, Gemini, and being able to put it together in a holistic viewpoint, Sagittarius, that makes the most sense for you. And Neptune turning stationary direct recently, how at peace are we with our understandings of the world? How at peace are we with our one-on-one connection to source energy? This is the energy that we are moving through right now. Show me the truth, show me the truth. And of course, that mantra for Sagittarius, I understand the relativity of truth with others. We're a wide variety of souls on the planet, and we all have different orientations to truth. We may have a personal truth, but it might be a limited version of universal timeless truth. How is your understanding of the world and your alignment with universal truth expanding for you on this full moon momentarily? Can still bring the big ahas. And how's it happening with Mercury and Jupiter retrograde in each other's signs, stirring things up? You know, one of the distortions is what we call brain switching, left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain. I can't make any sense of it. I'm just going to walk away from it and ignore it all. Sometimes when you do that, intuitive truth and very clear. That's what we want to reach for. That's what we want to search for. Not long after the full moon of Gemini, we have Sun entering Capricorn, winter solstice, shortest day of the year in the northern plains. My EA mantra for that: I achieve my goals with emotional self-reliance. I achieve my goals, Capricorn, with emotional self-reliance. The Cancer polarity. So, in a little bit, we're going to move from that Sagittarius socializing, holiday partying energy to the Capricorn. Turning over a new calendar year, time to get back to work. How can I be practical? What do I want to do in 2025? How do I want to be in harmony with my relationship to the physical, material world? Sun in Capricorn. Now, what happens just around that Sun in Capricorn, December 21st this year, is December 18th, Sun makes that last quarter square to Neptune direct in Pisces. Again, making sense of our larger picture, tuning into our relationship with Source, however that is moving forward for you. And then, when the Sun goes into Capricorn, December 23rd is going to square the node to the Moon, just finishing up in Aries, Libra. North Node Aries, South Node Libra. We're finishing up an 19-month nodal axis transit of learning how to get along with each other in the world, which, if you look out there on consensus levels, doesn't really seem to be happening at that moment. That South Node in Libra polarization could be as strong as ever on those collective consensus levels. You have choice to do it differently in your personal world. How are you making peace with others? How are you balancing yourself, in harmony with who's ever in your world? Sun square the nodes from Capricorn can make that very conscious in what it is with our relationship that we may have to change in some way. Now, in addition to Mercury making its third and final opposition to Jupiter, Mercury also makes last quarter squares to Saturn. And that comes along. The third Mercury-Jupiter opposition is December 25th. The third Mercury last quarter square to Saturn is December 27th. And those are all taking place at about 14 degrees in the mutable sign. So if you're going to have any extended holiday with family, taking some deep breaths, learning how to listen as much as you speak, because communication could be in the air after the holidays. You know, for those of us who celebrate Christmas, Christmas Eve is Tuesday, Christmas day is Wednesday, I think. Yep. And so, it can extend into 2 weekends, depending upon how family does things. And so, doing our best to communicate as clearly, as honestly as possible from our sense of self, rather than accusing others. Sometimes easier said than done. So Mercury is that little messenger or that little trigger, because in addition to Jupiter making its second of 3 waxing squares to Saturn, that happens Christmas Eve, December 24th, Jupiter retrograde 14 Gemini, Saturn direct at about 14 Pisces. First quarter, crises in action. How am I moving forward? What choices am I making, Jupiter in Gemini, to the reality check that Saturn in Pisces has been giving me? Do your best. Listen as well as speak. It's going to do both. But in addition to Jupiter waxing square Saturn, we've been talking about this. Jupiter is making waxing sesqui-squares or sesqui-quadrates, 135-degree aspect to Pluto. And it made the second one December 13th. Jupiter retrograde 15.5 Gemini, Pluto direct 0.5 Aquarius. These are kind of like the 2 base notes. Jupiter waxing square Saturn, Jupiter waxing sesqui-square to Pluto. Oh, and we're going to have Saturn make a waxing semi-square to Pluto January 26th at 17 Pisces to Aquarius. So we've got Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, all relating to each other and all kind of determining how collective consciousness is going to move forward on the planet, because Jupiter's growth and expansion, Saturn is decay and contraction. And in their 20-year cycle together, they govern our social patterns, a belief that they can consolidated into law, Jupiter, Saturn. And, of course, as they're relating to Pluto, early Aquarius, it can be shaking things up in some ways. Think how AI is starting to show up on your news feed and influence things in that way. But it can also be, following Pluto's 15 years in Capricorn, almost a bit of wanting to further entrench all of the plutocrats, I use that word, all of that plutocracy that Pluto and Capricorn had. It doesn't want the Aquarian shakeups. I've been saying to people, repeating myself here, I really do think that Pluto's 20-year transit to Aquarius will bring a renaissance in metaphysics. It will bring a renaissance in broader context of equality for all. It will bring the rebellions, but they may not start right away. The Jupiter-Saturn squares relating to Pluto, there may be some seed thoughts going on, but they're going on in both progressive and conservative avenues. Okay? Who's going to turn out to be the stronger avenue? Time will tell. We can step back and detach Aquarius and know that in the long run we take care of the planet or we blow it up. We take care of living in harmony with all species, or it will be harder and harder to live on the planet. We may have reached that point already. Time will tell. I do have faith in technology and innovation and being able to save ourselves and pull ourselves back from the brink. But how close do we get before we turn things around? We all participate on the planet. We all get to share in this with our choices and our relationships to the material world. These are the kind of thoughts we can be pondering as Sun finishes up its transit to Sagittarius, Mercury going direct in Sagittarius, immutable T-square, the Jupiter-Saturn aspect, Pluto. What visions, what insights are coming through for you in personally moving forward in your world, and making sense of your world no matter where you are or what you're experiencing, and making sense of it, and then choosing how to participate in it. One more thing going on, we will have Chiron turn stationary direct December 29th at exactly 19 degrees Aries, and I'm looking for its stationary retrograde. Here it is. It went retrograde July 26th at 23.5 degrees Aries. So Chiron finishing up 5 months of throwing off old wounding. How do we heal? How do we heal? Distortions, of course. Chiron in Aries is we have to fight. We have to defend. We have to go with me versus you. However, revolving Chiron in Aries has been initiating new healing modalities for ourselves for the last 5-6 years. And turning stationary direct, it's kind of like a kickstart. It's like we filled the gas up in the engine and we're raring to go forward. How are we choosing to initiate new healing for ourselves? And of course, that Chiron stationary direct December 29th is going to be the day before the new moon at 10 degrees Capricorn. So we actually are going to go into a New Year's time period, looking ahead a little bit, with some energy to move us forward, if we so choose. More on that next podcast, because along with that Chiron direct, new moon Capricorn, we have Mars retrograde for the second time with Pluto. So, as we move through the holidays in the second half of December, do your best to make sense of your world, make peace with your world, participate in your world, utilize the Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto aspect for your vision and choices on how to move forward, and you can move into the new year full steam ahead in your world, participating in the larger whole. All right, everyone, this is a shorter podcast. I'm a little bit under the weather, so thank you for letting me do it fast and quick. Any comments, Media Monk?
No, thank you for the research. Yeah, we're dealing with those base notes of Saturn and Jupiter for sure. And, you know, of course, I think we'll look back on this period 25 years from now, and you know, with Pluto's ingress into Aquarius right here, Pluto into Aquarius, right? 0 degree Aquarius.
Well, you said 25 years from now. I'm going, Pluto in Pisces.
But I think we'll
we got to get through Aquarius first.
And artificial intelligence is just the beginning, was my point.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm excited to be able to live through Pluto and Aquarius. We're going to see a lot of development that we may or may not like.
Let me say one more thing, Meaty Monk. We did do our free Mars retrograde in Leo Cancer webinar last week, I think it was. If you go to our YouTube channel, Evolution. What is our YouTube channel, Meaty Monk?
Evolutionary Astronet.
That's right. That's right. Yep, go there and you can touch base with Mars retrograde in Leo. It does not reverse back into Cancer until January 6th. So we still got Mars a little feisty in Leo, and again, it'll make that second retrograde with Pluto in those early degrees of Leo Aquarius as well. Stay tuned for that next podcast. But go check out our Mars retrograde webinar. Go ahead, Nina.
I also have it up on the forecasting webinars page of EAN, Evolutionary Astrology Network. So go there. Make sure you're on the newsletter list. We also have that link to our YouTube channel and any and all newsletters. So really easy to find. And I thought that was one of the best, most well-produced Mars retrogrades you've ever done, Kim Marie. So I thought that was really sweet. And there's lots of information to live by. So I highly recommend that.
Thank you, Nina.
All right. Until next.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone a very blessed winter solstice.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a poignant time of the year to enjoy family, friends, and of course, more as importantly, our extended families. So, joy and passion to everybody on this holiday season, and we'll see you next new moon.